Okay. All right. So this is the way we're going to do things. We're going to start the competition with a run through of all 102 images.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
That way, everybody can see what's in the running, and our judge, Susan Maytel, will see all of the images, and that gives her an idea of what her grading is going to be like when we start the actual scoring. Okay, are there any questions? Helen, you ready to share? And we're going to do what, the 5 seconds?
Okay.
Okay, well, let's share.
All
Come on.
right. No, wait a minute. Sorry. 5 seconds. Okay. Okie dokie.
Okay, that's the first run through. We're now going to go through a second time, much more slowly. And Nancy, we're going to ask you for your comments, a critique, whatever you want to talk about, technique, composition, color, you name it. And we'll then ask you for a score of A, B, or C. A is a superior image, B is an average image, and C is one which needs more work, in your opinion. So you ready?
Chuck, I
Yes.
forgot to mute everyone. So I'm going to mute everyone, and then Susan, you have to unmute yourself.
Am I
Okay.
muted?
I'm going to mute everyone, including you, and then you have to unmute yourself, okay?
Okay,
I'm going to mute everyone now, and you just have to unmute yourself. Do you know how to do
I'm
that?
trying to find where the mute thing is.
Where the audio is, you'll go on the icon on the lower left-hand side if you're working on a computer.
Oh, I see it. Okay,
Okay, I'm going to mute you, and then you just have to click it, and it unmutes you.
okay.
Okay, unmute yourself now.
Okay, you can hear me? Okay.
Okay, Susan, you're on.
Okay, some of them are a little bit difficult to make a decision. And I'm going to give this a B. I liked it more when I saw it the first time, and I'm almost tempted to give it a C. I like the fact that the way the reflection and the elbows, but it doesn't quite hold together. And the little on the top, the white thing on the top of the girl's head on the left doesn't really. It's a little. It's awkward. I'm giving it a B, but it's really more of a B minus. And I'm giving this a B. It's a very nice gesture between with the hands and the way they're posed. You know, the little girl and her hands. It's very sweet. I think the shadow of the woman's face on the right is a little bit awkward. But the little girl on the left, it's really quite lovely. So I'm giving it a B. I'm giving this an A. It's very nicely seen. It's very nicely composed. I'm concerned about the fact that it's so much darker on the right side than the left side, and in the middle it's so bright. That's a concern to me. But it's very well seen and composed. So I'm giving this a C because it's interesting, but it's not more than that. I like the horizontal line. I like the lines. I like the fact that they're all different, but it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't work. It's a really good attempt, but it doesn't work. I'm giving this a B. The color's really nice. The way people are in the composition in terms of where people are within the frame is quite nice. The way they're spread out. I'm giving this an A. It's extremely well seen. It's really well seen. The color, the white isn't too white. Doesn't over. There's tonality in it. It's really it's quite lovely. I'm giving this a C. It's something I've seen too many times, and it's not blurry enough and not non-blurry enough. It's just sort of in the middle. It's just a caught moment. I'm giving this a B. I think it's well composed, but the background, the sky in the background is too light. I like the way the flowers or the bushes are on the left and the right, and the house, the red house in the middle is really, really nice, but it gets lost after that. So it's the upper part of the frame doesn't really work. I'm giving this a C. It doesn't, the composition is really off. It doesn't, I'm not sure what I'm looking at or why I would look at it, other than the fact that, the stairs are interesting in a way, but it doesn't really say anything. It doesn't really do anything. I'm giving this a C. I don't like the guy who's looking away. I like the people that are at the table, the dog, and all that. And the background, the building's too bright. So there's nothing in there. And then the guy looking away. So because your eye ends up going and following him, and everybody's on the left. So it doesn't really. There's no depth, and there's no depth to it. So I see. I don't have a clue what I'm looking at here, but it's really, really interesting. I'm giving this an A. I'm giving this a C. It's nicely seen. I like the table with all this stuff on the bottles of wine in the middle, but it's too contrasty and it doesn't hold together. The building in the dark in the back is too dark. It's a good attempt, but it doesn't work. I'm giving this is one that's tough because of the colors are really nice, the hair and the fruit. But the rest of it, well, isn't really a photograph. It's just the fact that the colors are interesting, and that's only in the foreground. I'm giving this a C. I'm giving this a B because the person on is positioned in a really good place. And there's some tonality. It's just, I mean, and with holding that thing up, and it works I wish it were, tonally, I wish it were darker or more, it had more tone in it. I don't know what this is, but it's just, I'm giving it an A just because I have no clue what it is, and the colors are really nice. And it's really, really interesting to look at and to wonder what it is I'm looking at. It's really, and the fact that it's bright in the middle and dark all around it really adds to the fascination of it. I'm giving this a C because, especially coming after the one before it, where it's just sort of there. It doesn't. It's almost like there's no reason for it to be there. And the sky, I like the horizontal lines, but it's too. There's not enough depth in the color on the top. It's just now the composition is really off, even though the bird's standing in a nice place. It doesn't hold together. And this is really sweet. I'm giving this an A. It's just really, really sweet. The composition. I wish the grass in the background wasn't quite so bright. That's distracting. But the animals themselves are really are really cute and well seen. I'm giving this a C. It's quote, just a flower. It's interesting because look, when you go through the first time, opinions change after seeing all the others. The colors in this are really, really very lovely. Like the top right, it's all the green doesn't really work. The green doesn't work. The green that's in the middle that's slants up to the left, that has some tonality, but it's just like, oh, it's a pretty flower. So it's not that's all it is. It's a pretty flower with nice color. I'm giving this a C. It's well seen. So the moment's captured well, but it's not a photograph. It's just that particular moment with that animal thing there. And the tail and the thing that that animal is standing on it they're both too light. I mean, there's not enough comparison. There's not enough differentiation between them, and it's not similar enough to make it really, really interesting. So see. This is very beautiful. I'm giving this an A. It's very, extremely well done. It's the tonality is really good. It almost makes me wonder, is that sand or is that like cut paper? It's not even clear exactly what it is, which makes it really fascinating to really look at it. And the sky or whatever is quite lovely, and it's not too light, it's not too dark. It's really lovely. I'm giving this a C because I don't know what I'm looking at. And then on the left side, it's very, very bright. In the middle, it's dark, and on the right side, it's light again. And I think there's too much space on the top. I'm not sure why that space is there. And I'm not sure that would make much of a difference, but it just is all. Your eye ends up going to the bright part of the frame, and it's really bright on the left, really bright on the top, and it's just it doesn't really relate. The color red's really pretty, but that's what I like best about it. I'm giving this a C. It's nicely seen. The woman on the left is looking away, the person who's looking at the photographer, that's really nice. Holding the flag is really nice. The number 251, that's just a distraction. And then all the people behind the guy holding the flag, it's a distraction. I mean, it's not focused. It's not, you don't really know other than a man holding a flag, and his expression is nice, but the rest of it falls apart. This is lovely, and giving this an A. These, I think of, I mean, the sky is quite remarkable. And the yellow on the bottom right, that's really well seen, and it's not too bright, it's not too dark. The castle or the house, whatever that is really well positioned. It's really well positioned. And the movement of the sky, not just the tiny little pieces of sky, but the larger one that's most close to the house or whatever it is. It's really it's very nicely framed. It's really interesting. And your eye can keep going around and going around and looking at it and looking at it. And you see the yellow grass, but it looks like it could be a line of some time. And then you wonder if the other yellow line is that part of what that is. So you look at it and then not because it doesn't, because it's really interesting. I see, it's a glass with ice cubes and reflection, and it doesn't really do much more than that. Although it must be hard to make the glass have, the ice have some color. What's most interesting to me about this is the fact that you have this lovely woman with all the tattoos, and there's that comparison and the long hair. But I'm giving this, a B, but it's really close to a C. There's not really an emotion in her expression. Okay. I'm giving this a C. The two guys on each side is interesting, but it's not more than that. This is a photograph. When I first looked at it, I thought, oh, that's really interesting. The guys on both sides with the vertical lines in between. But when I come back and look at it, it becomes that's all it is. And then I'm not really sure what all that stuff is doing on the top. It gets lost. I think it should be, if maybe it had been cropped on top, it might be more interesting, but it gets lost in there. I think that I'm giving this an A. It's really quite beautiful, color-wise, tonally. Where the placement is. It's really it's extremely well seen. It's beautifully seen, and his hand holding whatever it is that he's holding, and the sleeve put on his right sleeve, and the red hanging down. This is really it's very beautiful, and it's very classic without it being arty or it doesn't look posed. It looks like this is real. This is extremely beautiful. I'm giving this a C. It doesn't hold together. The composition doesn't work. You have, I mean, the sky and the waters similar color, that's okay. That piece of land or lighthouse thing in the middle, that's sort of not, that's nice. The guy sitting there, he's in a good position. It doesn't hold together as it doesn't hold together as a photograph. There are elements that work, but it doesn't come together as a photograph. I feel the same way about this one too. I'll give it a C. The fan is nice. The expression, I don't know why she's squinting, other than it could be the sun. It doesn't hold together as a photograph though. There are elements, the on the wall, there are elements of it that, like at the very bottom right, there's like a tiny light blue square vertical thing. That doesn't belong there. That should have been cropped out. It's just it's not well composed. The the way she's holding the fan is lovely. It doesn't work photographically. There are nice elements in it. I'm giving this a C. Um, it's I like those red lines, the way they go all the way around. The top left, the top part, that's very bright. I don't know why that's there. Maybe if that should have been cropped down to where the top line is there. And the bottom right, the bricks, that's way too bright. So there are a lot of, it's extremely well seen. It's a lot of nice elements. But again, compositionally, it does not hold together. And also, I don't know what's going on. And I have no clue what's going on here, other than the fact that it's blurry. So I'm giving this a C. I'm giving this a B because of the way people are posed. They're posed really well. I wish the top part of it had been cropped off somewhat because it's not even. The top part on the right is taller than the one on the left. And that's disturbing and a distraction. But the placement of the people and where they are in terms of inside the car and on top of that part of it's really quite nice. But I don't know why that top part should have been cropped out and come down underneath it. I'm giving this a C because I have, again, it's not a photo, it's not photographic. There's if you want, I can say more about it, but it isn't told together. I'm giving this a C also. The colors are nice. It's too bright. The background, the contrast between the middle ground and the background it's just much too contrasty. There's no tension there. It's just not complete. It's just like different elements that don't relate to each other. This list, I'm giving this an A. It's very well seen. That red eye is like, whoa, what's that? And then the red body looks like all that, the white hair or whatever you would call it. It's really, the detail in there, it's really nice and it's well seen. It's in the middle. There's nothing distracting. There's nothing distracting about it. It just works really well. I'm giving this a C because I don't know what I'm looking at. Is it a dead bird? Is that I have no idea what this is, and I don't know what it's lying on, what the ground is of. It's just no, I really don't know what to say about it. I'm giving this a C. I think it's a nice attempt to have the colored butterfly next to what looks like a wound, but the background doesn't is distracting. Um, it's just that okay. This is really the person taking is like this is really interesting. Here's that yellow butterfly, and then there's the wound, but it's not anything more than that. So it doesn't really. There's no emotion to it where you would think there should be emotion. I'm giving this an A. I just think it's really well seen. The horizontal lines go really well. The words, and this is available for all social functions. That's sort of really funny. Because it doesn't look like that at all. It's just it's very nicely seen. So I'm giving that an A. I'm giving this a B. It's too gray, basically. There's no it's too gray. It sort of all blends together. And that's, yeah, I wish there'd be more tension between the top part of it and the reflection. But it's almost like a monotone, but not meant to be a monotone. I like the horizontal line in the middle and the line that comes on more on the bottom right that goes through. But yeah. I'm giving this an A. I think it's really well seen. The colors, that little white box at the very top left, that's a really nice element to put there. Without that element, the photograph wouldn't work as well. But the colors on both the green and white on left and right work really well together. And then there's that bicycle. I think this works really really well, and I think it's very important because of that little white horizontal box at the top left. That composition wise, that holds it all together. Otherwise, it would just be very flat, and it wouldn't have the and the two vertical lines in the middle between the green and white sections. It really, as composition wise, this works really, really well. I'm giving this a C. It's a nice, it's just a guy sitting on a bench, wearing a white thing on his head. but I don't really know anything about him other than he's smiling, and I don't know where he is or why he's there. I don't really know. I don't know anything about him, and he's right posed right in the middle. I would, if I wish I would know something about him. I'm giving this an A. This is really, it's very, very lovely. I like it that it's posed, but not dead center, that it's off to the right. And the umbrella is quite lovely. And the man's expression is quite lovely. He really looks very, very happy. And that comes through, and you feel him, you feel what one would assume he's feeling. And then the red flowers on the sort of the top left through the middle. And then there's another darker red flower up on the very top. I guess the only thing I just wish the bottom part of the grass had been a little bit darker, and the leaves on the bottom left were a little bit darker. But there's the moment that was captured between the couple is really very, very, very beautiful. And as I say, I really like that it's not dead center, because that makes it much more interesting. I'm giving this an A. I think it's extremely well seen. It's well composed. And all the different people there, they become like the repetition of all the lines and the other two lines beneath it. And it's really extremely well seen. And the person photographing it really got the fact of all that repetition and framed the photograph so the repetition was obvious, and including all the people. It's really very lovely. I'm giving this an A. There's a lot of emotion in this. The framing, the glass framing of what looks like it could be a subway car or something. I don't know what it is. That shaped framing that's not straight. The expression on that woman's face is quite beautiful and makes me care about her and what she's going through. I'm wondering why she has that expression on her face. It's very extremely well composed. I'm giving this an A also. Again, extremely well composed. The horizontal lines, the one with the tables and chairs in the front, and then the ones also in the back, but those seem to be white chairs and tables. And then the trees, each tree has its own little horizontal, inside is a horizontal format. It's extremely, and then the circles around the trees. So what this does is it allows your eye to wander, and you can keep looking at it and then noticing different things about it. And then you notice the reflection of the chairs on the ground on the bottom. And it's not all whited out. There's texture in all that. Extremely well composed. I'm giving this a C again. I don't really know what it is and why it's there, and the relationship between the two little green things and then the bigger green things on top. And it's not it's not really a photograph in the sense that it doesn't come together within the frame. There are interesting elements in it, but that's all. It's just interesting elements. It's not. It doesn't come together photographically. I'm giving this a C. I think it's well seen. The fact that the branches or the leaves on top are way too light. And that's a distraction because your eye ends up going there instead of looking at the interesting shape that runs through the blue middle section. So the blue middle section is really nice. The branches or going through it, that's really interesting. But it gets lost because of this, of it's way inconsistent and way too light. That's the top part. And there could be a horizontal line if it was dark. It could be more interesting visually. And looking at the very left in the middle, it looks like it's much wider. There's a white section, but that's the distraction in in the railing. That's very distracting. I'm giving this an A. It's extremely well seen. The curves, the way it wanders, there's mood. Unlike a lot of the other photographs, this has there's a mood to this photograph. And I'd like to know more about this particular place. The reflections, the the vertical lines like that went through in the middle. It's if I were going to have any objection, and the more you look at something, the more you see, is that there's toward the middle on the very left, the yellow part, grass or hay looking thing, that's too light. That should have either been cropped, that should have been made darker. Because that ends up, the more I look at it, the more you look at a photograph, the more you see in it. And that's the distraction that I wish wasn't there. I wish if it had been cropped. I'm giving this a C. I've seen this before. It's nicely seen. I like the building. I like the colors, but it doesn't really. It's just what it is. It's not more than that. There's no mood. There's no real sense of or mood to it. There's no. It's just seems like, oh, that looks like nice colors. I think I'll go take a picture of that. That's my reaction to it. If that sounds harsh, so this is very washed out. I like the reflection of the gate with the fence, but everything else, all the part that's really white is washed out. There's no depth to it, so that there's a lot of parts. The person who took this really has a very good eye in terms of setting up for composition, but it wasn't well produced, and it should not. The fact that it's so bright and light is a distraction, and the shadow, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, but it's a good try.
What's the grade on this?
A C. Um, I'm giving this a C. It's just bird walking. The red beak is nice. The one leg is up is nice, and but it's washed out again. There's no depth. Color wise, it's very, even though there's a bright red in the eye and the beak, it still feels washed out, and the shadow is a nice attempt, but it doesn't really work. If there was more of the shadow, and it's centered. I'm giving it a C. Yeah. This I'm giving this a C. It's a little bit of a hodgepodge. I don't, again, there were like a lot of elements in it that might have made a photograph, but this doesn't quite work as a photograph. And that orange caution thing on the bottom doesn't seem to make any sense at all. I don't know what that's doing there. Or why it was kept there. I mean, it was there. I like the pointy bottom where that it just sort of goes right along the bottom horizontal line. But then again, you can see there's a little bit of a white section there that's not tonally the same as the rest, and that becomes a distraction. I don't think there's enough depth to the colors. They're interesting visually as shapes, but not. Yeah, so that was a C. Oh well. I'm giving this a B. I like the way he's sitting. See, this is one of the ones that I liked more the very first time I went through. And looking at it now, it becomes less interesting. His gesture is really interesting, the man's gesture. I think the top part, although the colors are interesting, it doesn't really quite work. It's just they're just sort of there. The ones on the right are really very different than the ones on the left. And then I'm not sure what on the left side, what that black, that's really very dark. I don't know why that's there. And also on the very top left, again, there's a spot that's really, really dark. That this doesn't really have a shape, and that's a distraction. I'm giving this an A. This is extremely well seen. Everything holds together. Everything is organized. Tonally, it works. It's extremely well seen. I'm giving this a C. I don't know what it is. There's a much, yeah. I'm giving this a C. It's another one where I first saw it, I liked it more. I like the vertical posts. I like the man standing there next to it. And his gesture is interesting. The piece of paper that's on the floor on the bottom, sort of bottom left, is not that interesting. It's a good attempt, but it doesn't work. And I feel the same way about this too. The three women, it's nice. They're wearing their little costumes. Um, the, the the green on the left is distracting. Either it should be more of it, or it should be less of it, and it should be darker. It's the middle section is way too light, and that's a distraction. And it's just a gesture that somehow you know that they're talking, but it's just a gesture. So it's a C. I'm giving this a C. It's too flat. There's no tonality. There's not. It doesn't hold together. There's the brown thing in the bottom, in the middle of the, off to the right. It doesn't. I don't know what that means. Why that's. It just doesn't work. That should have been burned in or something. And there's no real definition of that structure. And there's no real definition in the sky either. There's a possibility there. And I think tonally, if they had made dark or maybe more contrasty or something, it might have worked better, but it's a C. Am I going too slow or too fast? Does anyone want to answer?
You're doing okay.
Okay. I really, really liked this when I first, by the top part of the brown there. It looks like it shouldn't be there. It should have been cropped out. It should have been cropped down. The bottom section is really very, very beautiful. It became really flat. I'm giving this a B. But there's a possibility that the photographer missed with this photograph. I'm giving it a B. I'm curious about it, but not curious enough. And then all the white that crisscrosses, and then the left, top left part isn't, that you know they're there, but you don't see them. You can't see them. That's a distraction. It might have been if it was cropped. That if the photographer had moved over or changed position somewhat, or if he was instructing the person in the middle to move over, because all those white lines that are there on the top left, you can't really see them, and it's not interesting enough for me to try to figure out what they are. And this is just a C. It's out of focus. And there's, other than the hands, and I don't know why the hands are in focus and the face isn't. This is nicely seen. Again, I have the feeling that tonally, things tend to be too muddied. They're not dark. They're not contrasty enough. The bottom part is way too light. compared to the structure, the bell tower, and that building. It's nicely seen, but it doesn't go beyond that, so I'm giving it a C. I'm giving this a C because the person, not the guy with the gun, but the guy, there's a person next to him, and I don't know why that person is there. The person with the gun has an interesting facial gesture, and the person sitting down has an interesting facial gesture, but I don't know why the person on the left is even in the frame. I'm giving this a B because it's a nice gesture, the way one girl's holding the other, or it's a woman, I can't tell. And the sort of red is nice, the rainbow is nice. But it doesn't quite hold together. If there wasn't, it doesn't really quite hold together. But yeah, so I really have not much I can say about it. Again, this is really I don't know why these are so flat. It's way too light. I'm giving it a C. It's like it's a wide angle shot and there's no tonality. And again, look at the very bottom left, you see it's very, very bright. There's like a little line that's really very, very bright, and that becomes really distracting. And all those, it looks like there was an attempt to fix the tonality in the bottom part of the frame, but not the top part. And so they don't really work together. I'm giving this an A just because I can't even tell if this bird's flying or standing. Almost. It's a really great gesture. And again, I'm really happy that it's not right in the middle of the center. And the tonality of the blue is lovely. And the movement, and true, it's really hard to tell if the bird's standing on something or just flying through the air, which is very intriguing. So I'm giving that an A. I'm giving this a C. It's well seen, but it's in a way a little bit boring. There are a bunch of bottles against the wall. And then the top part is a distraction where you have that white line, and then the very top part above that is way too light. And there's not enough texture in the bottles tonally to make it more interesting than that. I think there are possibilities, but it's well seen in terms of, it's like all these bottles were there, and so I'll take a picture of them. I'm giving, this is very nicely seen. It's a very nice moment. Again, I wish it had been made darker. Because it's really distracting. I think the animals should be darker, and so should the grass and the trees and all that, and the rock. I like that the animal on the bottom is eyeballing you, and the other one's looking the other way. But I think I'm going to give it a B. I'm giving this an A because I like that it's off center. Tonally, it's really very well done. Both the sky background as well as what the bird's sitting on, and the tones of the fur. And it's a good gesture. And it's not dead center, so I think that really works. Giving this a C. I like that the line that goes from the top left to the bottom, down to the bottom, but again, it's all washed out. And the background's all washed out. And it's dead center. I'm giving this, I wish the top part had been cropped. It looks like that person there. That's really distracting. The shadows and the lines, um, there's a lot that's really, really nice about this, but it doesn't hold together photographically. Okay. I'm giving this a C. It's not more than it is. It's a bunch of dogs being held by somebody. It looks like he works in the building or drives the car that somebody you rides in. And what's behind in the front part is it's a little bit interest of the man with the three dogs, but there's whatever's going on behind that, on the street behind that, is totally a mishmash. I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like anything. I'm giving this a C. It's nice having the two people sitting there. There's the bicycles are there. I don't. That little window thing on the top left is really a distraction. The vertical line that goes through the middle is also not straight, and that's a distraction. And then the bottle in the very bottom, next to the person on the left, next to the foot, that it doesn't hold it. There are a lot of elements there. It doesn't work together. You have all the bicycles and the circles, but it doesn't work, doesn't hold together. I'm I'm giving this an A. I think this is really, tonally, it's really nice. Visually, it's nice. It's well composed and it's intriguing. I want to know more about this particular building, this particular place. And that's always good when you want to know more about a place. Not that because you don't care. I'm giving this a B. It's nicely seen, but it's not more than that. Tonally, it's well done. I think tonally it's well done. It's well composed. The pipes, like the plastic pipes on both the left and the right, are way too bright, and that becomes very distracting. But it's the way it's seen is really quite nice, where the camera is being held. Well, if that's water, or maybe it's the water fountain, I don't know. I'm giving this a C. It's just a reflection in a bottle. It's like I've seen this, and I don't know what all that stuff is. That building or whatever's off to the right of it, I have no idea what that is and why it's there. So it just gets lost. I'm giving this an A because I don't. This is something I don't have a clue what this is, but it's really intriguing. And color-wise, tonally, it's really quite well done. It's really quite lovely. And it's the edges of the frame, except for in the very top left one, is a little bit of a distraction. I wish that was darker, but it's extremely well seen. It's very difficult to put. This does. This is really quite lovely. I'm giving this a C because it's something I've seen before also. The lamppost in the middle coming out of the person's head doesn't really work well. And it's really very, very bright in the background. What makes it work is the gesture of the girl holding the guy's arm. That's the part of it which works best, but the rest of it doesn't really work. I'm giving this an A. It's very well composed. Tonally, it's good. I love the fact that the top of his head comes right up to that white horizontal line. The way he's leaning against whatever he's leaning against. Color-wise, it's really very nice. The only thing I guess that would bother me would be the little bit on the bottom left, on the very bottom where there's that white section. I wish that had been cropped out or been made darker so it wouldn't, because that becomes distracting. But color-wise, it's really nice. It's a great gesture because you're right opposite him and he's ignoring you, or he doesn't know you're there. And it's a very nice portrait. This is, I'm giving this an A. It's for ingenuity. I think it's really, really cool to have those umbrellas where they are. And the way the lip curls up, the top lip curls up off to the side. And the way the hair goes, it's very well seen. I'm I like this. These are one of the ones I liked more when I first saw it. But I find it really distracting of the middle part of the building is um, so much brighter than the top part of the building, which is much more similar in tonality of than the bridge, the span of the bridge. But it's really very well. It's very well seen. It's very well seen. It's very well composed. If, I just this is tough to judge an A if whether it's A or B. I'm gonna go with B, but it's really nicely seen. I'm going with A because of it's silhouetted, the what looks like a little girl, the way her hands are, and all the stuff that's going on in the background, and the silhouette of what looks like a little boy sitting there, and the woman in the middle. It's just, and really well composed. It's extremely well composed, where the top part of the water just is cropped perfectly. It just ends exactly where it should be ending. And the same is true with the bottom part. And it's extremely well composed, and there's feeling and emotion. There's movement. It's almost like a ballet. So it's an A. I'm giving this a B. It's a nice moment. The kid doesn't look really happy being photographed, or he's in a bad mood. His shoes, it's well seen. Again, you look at the top, very top left, where it's white, where the rest of it's yellow or green in the middle. That's just, see, things like that become really distracting. But his feet are beautifully placed. The fact where his right foot is is beautifully placed. I don't know why he's not happy. I'm giving this a B. It's nicely seen. The reflections of the trees or bushes or whatever is distracting. And then at the very bottom, looks like there's that line that's sort of swirls around. It's like white. I don't know why that's white. And then there's the brown, and there's the yellow. And then there's tops of the bushes or whatever. Yeah. Mm. I'm giving this is a tough one. I'm giving it a C because I've seen it before. It's well seen. It looks like maybe there's a train coming toward the photographer. Um, the lines are really, really, really good. The horizontal, the vertical, all of them. But there's no real mood to it. It's just sort of architectural without meaning. I'm giving this an A because it has to be a really difficult moment to have taken a picture of, and the colors are really good, and it's extremely well seen. And again, it's not dead center. It's off to the side, and there's that little lilt on from the very bottom left up to the middle of the flower. It's really quite and the green of the wings against the green of the background. That's really quite lovely. Yeah, it's really quite lovely. I'm giving this a C. See, in this instance, the silhouette doesn't work. I mean, the gesture is interesting. But I don't quite get it. It just doesn't, it doesn't really work photographically. I'm giving this a C. I mean, I'm glad this one's in focus, but and she's very, very sweet looking. Well, he's very sweet looking. I have no idea what this is. I'm I'm giving this a B. I just think it's really interesting that it's really difficult to figure out. It's like it's an F and an I, but it's like turned around. But then why is the building not turned around? And it's not too tonally. It's interesting, and the contrast between the F and, well, I don't know if it's F and an I. That's what it looks like. It's turned it around. It is interesting. I'm giving this a C. They're just four guys walking along the street. The flags look really nice and they're lined up. But they're just four guys walking along the street, and the right part of the street is much brighter than the dark part, which is in shadow. So it makes sense, but at the same time, there's too much contrast. And then the grading on the right is a distraction. And what's in the windows is also a distraction. I'm giving this an A. It's very interesting visually. It's very interesting tonally. It's, again, you take a whole lot of different things and you put them together. It's complicated. And then the bottom part is much darker than the right the rest of it. And in this particular instance, it doesn't bother me, although as I look at it, it looks like there's brick on the left side, on the lower left, and that becomes a distraction. I wish that was made darker. See, it's just a statue on a building. If it has a special meaning, I can't tell by looking at it. And it's very flat. There's no contrast. Everything is like the same tone. Tonally, it's very much the same. If that's snow, then though that gray background or beige background doesn't really work. I'm giving this an A. It's extremely well seen. Tonally, it's really beautiful. I like the fact that it's not dead center. And you have a sense of the context of where it is. It almost looks like a toy boat. And the water is flat, but it works in this particular photograph, it works really well. Because this doesn't get in the way of looking at it. This is, it's very, and the roofs, it's really quite lovely. I'm giving this a C. People standing in the snow. And other than that, I like the shape of the thing in the middle, the tree, the bush. But it's too bright. It's not enough tone. The bottom, it's there seems to. Well, what I've been seeing, there's a lot of things that aren't toned correctly. That you don't when to make things lighter, when to make things darker, how to bring out the texture in what you're photographing. I'm mentioning it specifically because I feel that way about this. I'm giving it a C, but I've seen, that seems to be something that I've seen a lot of as I've been looking through the photographs. That's a lovely shape, but it's a lovely shape doesn't make a photograph when there's no tonality. If this is meant to be out of focus, the person succeeded, but it's out of focus. And let's see. I mean, what the person did right was where between the different groups of people, I like the way it's spread out. I think that makes that part of it, that makes it interesting. But the fact that it's so out of focus is really difficult to look at. Okay. See, it's icicles hanging over a ledger of a building or something, and that's all it is. So it's nice that it's great that the photographer saw it, but the whole bottom part of it looks like it really could be cropped out, other than to show that the building is taller than it looks like. I think the bottom part should be cropped out, or to differentiate. We have the sky and the icicles; they're almost the same thing. It just doesn't work. So see. Um, I'm giving this an A because it's extremely well seen. In this one too, if you look all the way on the left, there's like a little white part of, I don't know what it is, if it's part of the lid, it's what it is. And that should have been made darker, or that shouldn't be kept that light. But it's really nicely lined up. And it's interesting the fact that it's a little bit off kilter, meaning it's not just a straight architectural shot. And tonally, it's really good. The differentiate in the color of the sky makes it a water. You know, I don't know, can't even tell what it is, but it's different, and so there it adds intrigue, and it's very well seen. I'm giving this an A. It's very postcardy, but in a way that works for it. You know, that all that the red little house, and all the white snow and all the trees. Um, it's almost like it's meant to be an old-fashioned postcard. I mean, so that makes it work. I'm giving this a C. It's a pretty flower, pretty colors, but that's all it is again. And it's sort of straight in the middle. I'm giving this a B, and it's that same thing. I mean, this is really nicely seen, but there's the contrast. There should be more contrast instead of the whole back part is very monotone almost, and you don't really have the contrast between the bushes, trees, and the background. I'm giving this a B. It's a nice moment, but it's pretty. That's all I can really say about
Okay, Susan, that takes care of all 102 images.
it.
I have
29.
29 A's.
Same here.
Okay, so now what we have to do is go through the A images, and you have to award honors to as many as you feel really deserve them, that really stand out.
So I guess I probably did about 1/3 A's. How many B's? Probably 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
21 Bs. And
Okay,
15 and 52 Cs.
Okay, so you want to see all the A images and then
Yes.
decide which ones are going to get honors?
How
Okay,
many honors can I give?
as many as you want.
Okay. Oh, we can go through the whole thing, right?
Yes, we'll show them all to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So now you have to pick the honors. We'll go through them one at a time and you can say yes or no.
Okay,
This
no,
is number 3. Okay.
No,
No.
okay.
Number 6.
yes,
Number 11.
yes,
Number 15.
no,
Number 17.
no,
Number 20.
yes,
Number 23.
no,
Number 27.
yes,
Number
35.
35.
no,
Number 38.
no,
Number 40.
no,
Number 42.
yes,
Number 43.
yes,
Number 44.
yes,
Number 45.
yes,
Number 48.
yes,
Number 54.
no,
Number
66.
66.
no,
Number 69.
no,
Number 74.
no,
Number 77.
no,
Number 79.
yes,
Number 80.
Wait a minute.
yes,
Number 82.
no,
Number 88.
no,
Wait,
86. I'm sorry. 86.
no,
Number 91.
no,
Number 93.
yes,
Number 98.
No.
Number 99.
no. Oh, yeah, let me change that to a yes.
Number 99?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know which is the one I'm giving the best in show. The man leaning against the wall in the elevator.
where is he?
Go to the honors.
Oh, right.
That one?
That one.
Okay. Okay, we're now going to announce the winning images.
Starting at the A's.
Okay. And A goes to Laura Toledo for Palazzo Romano.
Okay.
I apologize to all those who are disappointed. It's terrible being disappointed.
All right.
Laura, do you want to say anything?
I just took that in Rome, and I love the light in there.
Okay. Number 15, napping, and it's a flamingo. Chuck Pine. It was a flamingo among many, and I was able to focus in on just one. His head is tucked under his feathers so he can nap. Number 17, Mother and Baby Hippos by Elliot Neerman. Elliot?
They are very unusual to catch the mother and baby together. This was actually from Botswana.
Next, number 23, Starry Sky by Jeff Langford. Jeff?
He was here before. Let me see if he's here now. Nope, he left.
Okay. An A for number
35.
35. Victoria by Sonia Durante.
This is a Victoria Crown pigeon that I took at the Central Park Zoo.
Cool.
Number 38. Thrift Store by Nicole Dasso.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, this is just a photo I took in Harlem. It was a personal kind of river walk that I did, and just one of the images that I saw. Thank you.
Number 40. A goes to Potsdam by Albin Davis. Is Albin here tonight?
He was. Let me see if he's left. Yeah, he left.
Okay. And A for Looking Down by Laura Toledo.
Yeah, this is the view from the balcony at the pool in Colombia, in Cartagena.
Number 66. Bringing Home Dinner by Chuck Pine. That's an osprey in flight, and what he has in his claw is a fish, but he already ate the head off of it. And number 69, A goes to Lunchtime by Dottie Mills.
Central Park Zoo.
And A for Parked Gondola by Jeff Langford.
He
Jeff?
left. He left.
Here.
Okay. And A for A Legume Story by Carlton Johnson.
Yeah, just a bowl of kidney beans I shot as a close-up.
What kind of beans?
Kidney.
I think they're kidneys, if I'm not
Oh.
mistaken.
Okay.
Number 86. No, what?
82.
No, 82.
82.
Number 82. Family Silhouettes by Richard Gold. Rich?
He was here. Let me check.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was at Lincoln Center one night, and fountains were on, the lights were bright, and I saw this little family climb aboard, and waited around watching them and got a few snaps, and I was happy with it.
Okay. Number 86. Dragonfly Con Petals by Sonia Durante.
Yeah, this dragonfly was taken at the New York Botanical Gardens.
Okay, and A for number 91, Cauldron by Albin Davis.
Here.
And A goes to number 98, Columbia number 1 by Dove Bieber.
He
Let's
was
go.
here. Let me see if he's still here. Nope, he's gone.
Okay, we'll now go to the A's with honors. Number 6, Scenic Geyser by Alice Soma.
Hi, this was taken at the Yellowstone National Park this past year. I visited there for the first time and found it just magnificent everywhere you looked. This was walking up to the geysers.
Okay, and A with honors for Postcards by Larry Sapadin.
He wasn't here tonight.
An A with honors for Golden Sands by Natalie Manzino.
Hi, this is from my trip to Morocco years ago, but I resurrected it for my the show that I had, Patterns in Nature, and happy to say I sold 2 of these.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Next, an A with honors for number 42, Peekaboo by George Corbin. George?
He was here. George, just unmute yourself. George, you're here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. This was taken in a park outside of Kanazawa, and I only use my iPhone, and I process it inside the phone. I managed to get 2 shots as I walked by this scene.
A with honors, number 43, Subway by Bruce Byers.
I do a lot of subway hunting and just love the light and the lines.
A with honors, number 44, Ready to Roll by Ann Broder.
Yeah, this was taken in Ireland. The lady was sitting on a tour bus, inside a tour bus.
Number 45, A with honors, Trees in Window by Richard Borofsky. Rich?
Sure. Richard, unmute yourself, Richard. Richard. He's here, but he hasn't unmuted himself.
Okay, we'll move on.
Where is he?
Next, please.
All right.
Oh, he unmuted himself.
Okay.
Rich?
Was just walking through the museum one day, turned my head to the right, said, "My gosh, this looks nice," took the picture. I have to confess it was on my own iPhone.
A with honors, number 48. Town Dump Road by John Benson, our newest member.
Yeah, hi, this is up by the headwaters of the Delaware River in New York State, and it's literally the town dump road on the way to the dump around the bend.
A with honors for number 79, Edge of Day by Renee Harper.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. I took this on a very cold day at Jamaica Station, Long Island Railroad, and what spoke to me is that you could feel the weight on his shoulders. It was such a cold day, and the question to me is, how many days has he been like this, and how has he survived in this manner?
Number 80, A with honors, Eyes on You by Jill Grease.
She wasn't here tonight.
Number 93, A with honors, Nostalgia by George Corbin.
Yeah, this was on a lake, Ashinoko, near Tokyo, and I felt like I had gone back in time and just happened to catch something that used to be there. And there were 4 or 5 of these boats for tourists. Anyway, so I captured it.
A with honors, number 99. Becky Barn by John Benson.
Yeah, this is, again, upstate New York, and it was processed to kind of be like a courier-ized postcard.
And now we go to the image of the month, number 27. Security Guard, Met Security Guard by Mike Iannuzzi.
So he is a gallery attendant at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. And he was standing at an exit. So that wood on the left is just part of the doorway. And he looked like one of the paintings on the wall. So I grabbed it. And that's a clipboard in his right hand.
Nice work.
That's gorgeous, Michael.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
I'd like to thank Susan Maytel. I think you did a wonderful job. Some great comments on how to improve the images. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for attending.
Wait a minute. We have to stop sharing. Go on.
I said it already.
I'll say it again.
Thank you, Susan. Great job. I think your comments on how to correct the images and how to improve them were right on. Congratulations, everybody who got an A or honors or image of the month. Thank you for everybody for competing. And we'll see you next week with our own competition, You Be the Judge. Everybody stay happy and healthy and warm.
A lot of really good work. Congratulations to all of you.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave.
I don't-